Hello guys, welcome to Shaan's Logic. This is your host Shaan and I hope all of you are doing fine. Now, after a fairly long time, I'm back on YouTube and I've been fairly busy on other platforms like on my podcast Bly Talks. My podcast Bly Talks is all about happiness and motivation, and be sure to check it out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts and Anchor, and it's there on multiple platforms. Okay, back to Shaan's Logic. Today we are going to be doing a Shark Tank episode. Yes, back to business. I am totally excited and I love making these kinds of videos. Today's episode is an interesting one. Taking over others' deals, pushing business owners into a corner to take advantage, not delivering on commitments. It is a total business soap opera. Today we are going to be reviewing a company called ProntoBev by the owner Alexander Simone. They appeared on Shark Tank in season 9 episode 7, and according to me this is an interesting one and a bit weird, and you should especially stick to the video and watch till the end to know what happened to this company after Shark Tank. So what are we waiting for? Let's go on to the episode. So, in today's episode, instead of just playing the Shark Tank episode, I will be having a discussion with you as the episode goes on. So what are we waiting for? Let's start.
Next into the tank is a product that provides an ice-cold beverage exactly when you want it.
Sharks, my name is Alexander Simone. I'm an inventor from San Francisco. I'm here today seeking $100,000 as an investment for 5% of my company, Pronto Concept.
Oh, so he's asking for $100,000 for 5%, which values his company at $2 million. Okay.
Concepts. My invention solves a problem that millions of wine lovers all over the world face every day. Wine lovers love their wine chilled. They also love their wine in the moment. That's why I invented ProntoBev. Behold, the world's fastest wine chiller. As soon as you pour any bottle into ProntoBev, the wine-grade stainless steel interior jumpstarts a rapid heat transfer process. ProntoBev can chill a bottle up to 20 degrees in just 30 seconds.
Okay. My starting thoughts of the product are that it has a lot of potential. Now imagine a device that can cool down any beverage to less than 20 degrees Celsius in 30 seconds. It's quite impressive. And while he has made the product for especially for wine, it can be used for any beverage like water, coffee, etc. And I feel it has a lot of potential. And he specifically has chosen wine market, which is quite smart, because wine market is a humongous market worldwide and especially in the US. Wine market has a worldwide value of over $400 billion. Wow. And it's not only huge, but it is still growing, right? And according to different stats, they estimate from 2021 to 2026, the wine industry is going to have a CAGR, which is compound annual growth rate of around 6 to 12%, which will make the value of the wine industry between $500 billion to $800 billion, which is just wow. And with his product, which can cool down the wine to the perfect temperature, different wine connoisseurs, they know exact temperature, they will love this product. And this product it definitely complements the industry. So, I guess it has a great potential to be out there with the wine industry. So yeah, till now the value of the company, $2 million, it is justified. So, but it does matter on their revenues, their manufacturing, how much money they made on their crowdfunding on Kickstarter. All of that adds into the valuation as well. So let's see what happens next.
Before ProntoBev, the only way to choose from your wine collection and enjoy immediately was to own a wine refrigerator.
Okay, so they have also, this is an innovative product since their other competitors are wine refrigerators. So now wine refrigerators will take more time and are not portable for, cooling down the wine. So hence their USP would be, cooling down wine or anything like that very quickly, and that they are portable. Some of the disadvantages that can be that they do not have enough storage, but I guess using the technology they can increase the storage a bit.
Well, there we have it. Perfectly chilled wine. So sharks, when it comes to your wine and when it comes to your money, would you be waiting around or do you need it pronto? And just to let you know, this prototype's actually not food grade, but it should be safe.
Okay. If I was a shark and if a person pitching told me his or her product related to the food or drink industry is not food grade, it is a big no-no for me. I mean, it has to be, at least that's the basic standard of it, that it has to be food grade so that it can be utilized. This also foreshadows that he hasn't started production or manufacturing of the product, which will lead to questioning his valuation of $2 million.
If I drink from it all the time, like
it should be safe. Is it cold, Kevin?
It's beyond chilled. It's cold.
Is it the right temperature?
It's the right temperature for a white.
I could have some wine, please.
I'll be your server. Okay, continue.
But you drank
with the
out of
pitch.
that.
So I have no idea why people aren't really going over this valuation. So let's look at the crowdfunding platform you're on. You only sold $54,000 worth.
in 2 months. The first
$54,000 in 2 months. He has got close to nothing supporting his $2 million valuation at this point, because he has not started manufacturing, he has not started production. $54,000 in 2 months in crowdfunding. Don't get me wrong, it is good, but for the valuation he has set, it does not add up. Plus, yes, there is potential in his product, but can he build the business? The major question here is not about the product, rather it is about how he can manage the business.
2 months.
Do you have some other stuff that's going to give us a reason to get to a $2 million valuation?
There is another reason. So one of our biggest competitors, they're also a wine chiller, but they take way longer, and there are other drawbacks to the product that ProntoBev has a lot of advantages over.
Yeah, as I mentioned, the USP is that they can cool down any object really fast.
The competition cost.
What does it cost? They charge $80.
They're doing how much in business?
10 to 20 million a year.
10 to 20 million a year. That's pretty good. And he has only used a 2 million valuation, which I would say is an understatement. But, they have been in the, industry quite a long time, and 10 to 20 million dollars is quite good considering that they are also related to the wine industry.
20 is a big swing.
big range.
But, so you believe that that's why you're worth $2 million?
I see our product as being worth far more than that.
All right. You've been watching Shark Tank. Where did we go wrong? Why do you think we would ever invest in a company at this level with a $2 million valuation?
This company has only one direction to go, and that's up.
I agree with Mark that the reason is that as I said, the product is amazing. The problem is with the business management. And I feel that he should have come to Shark Tank definitely, but not at this stage. He should have, built a bit more, got a bit more revenue, started off the manufacturing a bit, got some stats in. Then he could have come to Shark Tank to present all of his data. Currently, he has hardly any data. Plus, you can see from his face that the sharks are getting to him, and he's not that confident with his numbers as well. Let's see what happens next.
Well, then I failed you because I obviously am not giving the right lessons here and the right information, because I don't want you to go into another room and make a stupid mistake like that. This valuation is crazy. I'm out.
Okay, one of the challenges I have in working with inventors, when you're an inventor first and an entrepreneur second, you want to invent.
Yeah.
But the harder part is turning it into a company that's profitable enough to make it worthwhile valuing this company at $2 million. I just don't see that. I don't see it going there. And so for those reasons, I'm out.
Oh, that hurts, Mark. You would have been a great
Sorry.
partner.
As I said, he has come too early. While the product may have it has potential, he came too early. And we have no idea whether the company will make profit, as there is no proof to prove that yet.
I appreciate it.
Alexander, look, a great product that you're very passionate about doesn't make a great company. Then your evaluation isn't trivial. It's just way too soon for me. I mean, I'm out, but I think the only person that would be interested would be a wine expert. What do you call a wine expert?
Cavalier de Testament.
A great reason to toast. Okay, Alexander, I don't care what you think it's worth, all right? I know the challenges of getting into the wine business. There's tons of competition and very little of it's proprietary. But I see the merit of it. I would use it. There's more good news. I'm going to make you an offer. And it's the only offer I'm going to make. Not going to negotiate, okay?
You gotta be kidding me.
Okay. I'm as surprised as Kevin is, because I never thought Kevin, the person who loves profit, would invest in a company like this. And that means that the product definitely has potential, as I said. And I guess Kevin might be looking to help him with the business aspect of things, which might make the company much better. Let's see what his offer is now.
I'm going to go and give you $100,000. I want 50%.
Oh my god. That is an absolute killer deal. He has offered the same value, and he was asking for $100,000 for 5%, and Kevin offers him $100,000 for 50%, making the value of the company $200,000. Now, that is quite less the value of the company, considering that it is associated to the wine industry. It could have been a bit more. Also, it is justified from Kevin's view, because he has no data at all to support that the company will do well. And being the 50% majority in Kevin's case, because I guess he also has some other investors on the line, Kevin would be the majority and would be easily be able to make decisions which might help the company overall, but it won't help Alexander for sure.
You know why? Because you don't know what you don't know. And you really need somebody to actually endorse this and help you get it out there.
Hey, but this price solves
Hold
it.
on. I have some good news and some bad news. What do you want first?
Give me the bad news first.
Bad news first. I'm out.
This has worsened Alexander's situation. With all the sharks out, leaving Kevin, he is desperate now for a deal. And the only deal he has is a killer deal in which Kevin receives 50% equity and only for $100,000. I personally would never take the deal, but let's see what Alexander does, right?
Lord, what's the good news from that?
I'll tell you the good news. The good news is I think you have something clever. And I think that it has merit. I went out because I think that there's a lot of time and education and learning and tweaking for you to get to a price point that I think will be a hero. But I do think you have the potential to get there, and you have a member of the
Now listen, Alexander, you do have an offer. What do you want to do? There's no way I have any flexibility. I've been doing this my whole life. Look,
and you can't give up 50% of the company.
It's not a company.
It's Alexander's discussion with Kevin.
Kevin, if I gave you 50% of my company,
right,
it would be doomed from that moment.
Why?
Because I need equity to play around with so I can raise more money if I need to. 50% is not...
Is there a better partner than me? Is there?
20%.
No, No. I take you out of the wastelands, the darkness. I bring you to the light. Darkness, light. That's what's going to happen.
I feel Jesus vibe emitting from Kevin right here with the whole darkness and light thing. And it's quite ironically considering that he is the one giving Alexander a killer offer that will, take his majority share from the company, and he no longer will be the owner.
That's what's going to happen. You have a high probability of making money versus you walk out the door without a deal.
That I agree with, because the only problem with the company right now is the way it's being managed, the business management. And Kevin will be able to make that better and try to bring in more profits and, fix up the manufacturing part.
And you are so dead to me, I won't even remember this thing.
He also has a lot of contacts that might help with in the wine industry, that will help with the company.
But I need to keep some equity, for myself, because I should have the majority.
That's business school 101.
And B, so I can go and raise the other 100,000. I have interested people in the other 100,000.
Look, if you had come more advanced with sell-through and proven sales, that's different. I would have given you more credit and maybe had flexibility. You have none of those things, okay?
Kevin, are you stuck at the 50%?
I said at the beginning, Robert, I have no flexibility.
Then give him 200,000 or 250,000.
Yeah, give him the
No.
extra 100,000.
How do I raise the money, Kevin? If you're my partner, this needs to happen. Where am I going to get the other 100,000?
I get diluted too.
So
maybe I'll go in on that round. Maybe I'll put more money into it.
Yeah, now he owns less than 50%. It's not his company anymore. That's his
then you
point.
could
Cry me a river, Mark. Yes or no, Alex?
Well, that's quite a negotiation, because not only is Alexander going with the negotiations and the reasoning, but even the Sharks, because the deal makes no sense. It is beneficial for the company, but not for Alexander. He would never do that. And yes, you see, he needs more money anyway, so he'll have to call in the investors. So unless Kevin gives that rest of the 100,000, then maybe there is a chance the deal might happen, but leaving that, no way.
Alexander.
Now, only a miracle can save Alexander now.
And you won't budge at all because you're giving me no wiggle room here.
It's binary, yes or no. This is your moment. You decide.
What's your next product, Alexander?
Our next product is a
What are you
martini
talking to
shaker.
him for? He's already out.
That chills martinis.
You know, the problem with the martini business is wine.
To get into the martini side of it and to do this and get it out, you need another $100,000.
Right.
How are you going to get the other 100?
We have people who are interested. I know I can get the other 100,000. I know I can.
I'll give you $100,000 for 25%, contingent that you raise the other 100.
Yeah.
Done.
Is it only me, or is everyone as confused as I am and as the Sharks are there on the table? Why did Mark offer a deal to Alexander? He was one of the first people to get out of the deal, and now he's miraculously back in. This is definitely the miracle I was talking about. I mean, 25% for $100,000, which values his company at $400,000. I mean, that's definitely an upgrade from Kevin, but why did he do so? Was it because of Kevin's brashness? Was it because the product had potential, or some other reason? I feel it's a mix of all, right? Kevin's brashness, might have triggered Mark in some way, and also Kevin, who loves profit, would have never even given a absolutely crazy deal to someone if they did not provide an opportunity for Kevin to earn profit. So I guess there is a point in that why Mark must have offered him. Also, the fact that definitely the product has a lot of potential. The only missing fact is the business management that Mark can do himself. Also, with all of these things in his mind, the fact that he was ready to jump into a new business, right? That gave, that sparked off in Mark's mind, and there we go, a new deal.
Thank you for it. You gotta work your ass off.
I will.
Okay?
I will.
All right.
I really will.
All right, Alexander.
I cannot believe I just made a deal with Mark Cuban. He went out first. I was so disappointed. And he came back in after listening.
After noticing all of this brings idea into my mind that even though I was getting these Jesus vibes from Kevin, Mark is the actual guardian savior, as he saved Alexander from Kevin's jaws.
Listening to everything and this terrible deal I'm trying to make with Kevin, this is the best day of my life.
Are you upset?
No, not at all. I would have never done it for less than 50%.
Kevin, you saved $100,000 that you can spend in the 7 years.
Now let's look at what happened to the company after Shark Tank. The company never started production for any of its products. We don't know whether the Mark Cuban deal happened later or not, but most likely it didn't. The company also introduced a new product even before they started with the production of their first one. They did all the planning for the new one, but both are not being officially produced yet. They even sent out that they've been selling their products on Amazon and the official website. And according to Reddit and some customers, they have not received the products for 4 years now. And according to them, they have been scammed. The technology on these products is still patent pending, but they have applied for the patent as said on Shark Tank. I feel this episode was very informative, as it is a prime example of what not to do. This tells us that you should not go unprepared or too early for a business pitch, as the investors won't have enough numerical or statistical data to invest in your company, as they do not know what to rely on. Well, that's it for today's episode. It has been an absolute fun to shoot this, and I hope you guys liked this episode and will hit the like button. If you want me to improve on anything, please comment down below and share the video. I have a podcast, Blind Talks, which is about happiness and motivation, which you can find on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many other podcast platforms. You can also visit my website, shaanslogic.com and shaannaya.com, where you can get this amazing merch very soon. Thank you and have a nice day. Ciao.